and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Jenna, could we have roll call, please?
Trustee Stauff. Here. Trustee Rhodey. Here. Trustee Belt. Here. Trustee Pater. Here. Trustee Kreiser. Here. Trustee Grabowski.
Yeah.
President Knutson.
He wants to share. Yes. Okay. Second item tonight is public hearing on resolution 2025-18 to establish the polling place for all wards for elections commencing on 2026. I hereby open up the public hearing. Is anybody here that would like to make a comment? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, then I'm gonna close the public hearing. Item 2, next one is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, December 2nd, 2025. Has everybody had a chance to look them over? Are there any questions, comments as the way they are presented this evening? If not, I will look for a motion to approve as presented.
Motion to approve minutes from December 2nd, 2025, as presented.
Second, Grabowski.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are hereby adopted. Citizen comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions with board members on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting laws, the board is not able to answer questions or respond to your comments. All comments should be directed to the board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker, with time being indicated by an audible alarm. When the alarm sounds, speakers are asked to conclude their comments. Speakers are asked to please use the podium and state their name and address. Is there, I'll wait till this gentleman signs in. No? Is there anybody here that would like to make a comment? Okay. Then we're gonna go right into ordinance. Review, discussion, and possible action on ordinance 2025-19, an ordinance amending and creating salary ranges for the village employees. I hope everyone's had a chance to go through them and see the previous year's ordinances. Are there any questions or comments as the way it is presented this evening? Yes, Bob? Oh, no, okay. Anybody? Okay, well then I will look for a motion to either approve or deny the ordinance. Anybody?
Motion to approve ordinance 2025-19, amending and creating salary ranges for village employees.
Second, Rhodey.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ordinance 2025-19 is hereby adopted. Resolution. Review, discussion, and possible action on resolution 2025-18 to establish the polling place for all wards for elections commencing in 2026. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to look them over. Are there any questions, comments as it relates to that topic? If there are none, I'll look for a motion to approve or deny the resolution.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-018 to establish the polling place for all wards for elections commencing in 2020.
Second, Peter.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2025-18 is hereby adopted. Old business, we have none. Reviewed, discussion, and possible action on an appointment of election inspectors for the 2026-2027 election cycle. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to look at all the appointments. Are there any questions, comments as it relates to that particular item?
I just have one quick question.
Yes.
As a new board member, how is this list curated? How are these people enlist, appointed, volunteered, etc.?
Yep, so it starts when they give us an application. So if someone is interested in being an election inspector, they would send me an application, and then they're put on the list. Every 2 years, they get approved by the board. So they were last approved in 2023, I believe. Yes, 2023. So they kind of just stay on the list. I ask them if anybody wants to be taken off. They either say yes or no. If they don't want to be taken off, then I just keep the list as is. So it's kind of a running tally, I guess you could say.
And each of the major parties submit a list.
Mm-hmm.
Every 2 years, they submit a list. And those are the priority poll workers.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are submitted. The lowest ones have to be asked for.
I will say this is the first that I learned somebody under 18 can be an inspector.
16. But they can only be in their municipality.
Yes.
And
yeah.
they're not allowed to contest anything. So, but I didn't even realize that that would be an option until I saw the list.
Hey, who did you see on that list?
The only one that I know on there that's under 18.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a 17-year-old the last couple of times, Ben Varner. He was really good. He helped at the absentee table.
I thought either time was moving faster than I originally thought, or I was seeing something. So
Any further discussion? Would someone like to make a motion then?
make a motion. Oh,
Go ahead.
approve the appointment of election inspectors for the 26-27 election cycle.
Second, Rory.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Item B, review, discussion, and possible action on new Class B beer license for Sal's Pizza Restaurant, Inc., DBA Takara Don Chava, located at 2208 Oakton Avenue. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to look it over. Are there any questions or comments as it relates to this particular item?
No question. Only comment would be when notifying him, would it be possible to also let him know that he's eligible for the new wine license?
Yeah, he knows I told him.
Okay.
So he just wanted the beer for now.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Are there any conditions on this?
I'm not sure if I had any.
See you listed.
Oh, license fees should be paid prior to issuance, yes. Thanks for reminding me.
Yep, just make sure those are incorporated.
I'll make a motion to approve the Class B beer license for Sal's Pizza Restaurant Incorporated, DBA Takira Don Chava. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Or the Caucasian. With the clerk's conditions.
Second, Peter.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby adopted. Review, discussion, and possible action on a joint powers agreement with Waukesha County regarding the use of a 911 system. Again, I hope everyone's read it through. Are there any questions, comments as it relates to this particular subject?
This is something we've already been doing, correct? It's just in the
That's correct. It's like a renewal.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve joint powers renewal agreement for the 911 system.
Do I have a second?
Second, Rory.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby adopted. Review, discussion, and possible action on an agreement with Seaman Development Company and Joe Grosh Development LLC to reimburse for a portion of fees for a planning study on West Wisconsin Avenue / Lakefront Park. Again, are there any questions, comments as it relates to this particular item? Yes.
If anybody had a chance to read the municipality magazine that just came this week, read it, okay? In that magazine, they talk about third places. And I don't know if anybody has ever knows what third places are. It comes from Celebrating the Third book, a third place, a Ray Oldenburg book, where it identifies or classifies as home as your first place, work as your second place, and the third place is where you go to socialize and make friends. Okay, I look at what is being proposed, or the start of what is being proposed here as being, establishing that third place. Another point that is made in the article is that our nation is experiencing what many experts term as an epidemic of loneliness, isolation, and depression. 1 in 5 millennials report having no friends, no acquaintances. At the same time, we have organizations in every community dying for lack of members, and homes are full of people sitting alone every evening, wondering how their lives become so small. I look at the proposal that has been given, and the willingness to partner as part of this proposal as the start of developing the downtown as the third place, the place where you socialize, the place where you meet friends, the place where you want to be. We can do a lot to help the businesses. The businesses will have a huge part in continuing that third place tradition. But I think this represents a great opportunity. And again, as I said, read the magazine. There's some really good articles in there that talk about it. And again, we had the UW proposal come in front of us, which laid out some really big picture items. Okay, this is an opportunity to take those big picture items and take an established a group and partner with some of the businesses to look at things that might be more actionable than some of the UW proposals. And again, in partnership with businesses.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll look for a motion.
Okay, I'll just say, you have another?
Oh, just real quick, these are just conceptual ideas and multiple iterations of an idea, right? This isn't like, hey, this is what we propose, A, B, or C, and then eventually that's what we have to decide from is A, B, or C. This is kind of kickstarting what we envision with the strategic planning. Is that right?
Yes and no. I mean, like it's yes, it's a Kickstarter. It's a discussion. It's what was, as Bob referenced, started with the UW project in giving some creative license and desire to have a cohesive lakefront and downtown, and a design to reference opposed to the piecemeal that we've been working with, or the patchwork we've been working with in the past. If
And I'm not
understanding
familiar
it
with
correctly.
the UW proposal or anything like that. Was that what we viewed back in August?
It was a capstone project a few years ago
Okay.
for a student to reimagine our downtown, and it was, as Bob referenced, on a grand scale that I don't even know if J.J. Watt has the budget to pull off. But if he's listening, we're open to donations. So this is on a more feasible scale.
And there's a lot of steps that are going to be taking place. Obviously, Park and Rec has to have a input on this. I think what's unique about this is that the businesses have some skin in the game, whether it's Joe Grosh, whether it's the Seidmans. It are interested parties that want to help drive this as much as they can. And not only help out with the lakefront park, but also it's obviously going to have a return on their businesses, which makes complete sense. If there's businesses are more successful, quite honestly, it helps us with our tax base. Okay, so it's like I said, it's an opportunity for us to create that third space. It's an opportunity for us to partner with businesses and to really start moving forward because UW Capstone, some good ideas. This is the next step. This is where we start, where the rubber hits the road. This is where we start wondering and actually start thinking about what actual costs are gonna be and concepts and going forward. Again, a lot of things have to take place, but this is the start.
Make a motion to approve the agreement with Seaman Development Company and Joe Grosh Development LLC.
Before there's a second, I guess I just have a clarification for maybe the administrator. What is the cost not to exceed, Matt? For this? Is that, I think, I had a different number than you did.
Didn't I take the number from the proposal?
That's what I thought it was. The 10,900.
There, I think there was a base number in the proposal that I was looking at, and then there was some add-ons.
Right, and I took the total, which included the add-ons.
Okay.
Okay, so I will amend my motion to not exceed 10,000, or we'll say not to exceed $11,000.
Second, Rhodey?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Could I just add a couple comments, please? Yeah, President Knudsen. Just a couple things for the board and for the public to be aware of. I've had some verbal discussions with Nick Phelan from the Parks Department. He wanted to be here tonight. He had a family conflict. He supports this idea. He just wants to be careful where the fundings come from. He's, of course, one of the gatekeepers for the Lyman Park Fund. So that's a concern of his. So for the proposal tonight is for the village to use its reserves because this was unbudgeted. But it is a small amount. But we're going to be tracking those unbudgeted expenditures as part of our ongoing processes. And then the other part is that in their discussions with the Seatmans and the developers, is that they wanted to really emphasize a point that this is phase one from their perspective, that this is part of a bigger vision for the downtown than just the beachfront. But as Trustee Rhodey stated, it's a start.
Yeah, and again, those pieces, if you had a chance to read this in depth, those pieces include not only the lakefront, but also an improved river walk and accessibility between the river and the Old Century parking lot, excuse me, Kep Park, and Kep Park, excuse me. And again, it develops the overall triangle of the downtown area of West Wisconsin, Oakton Avenue, and Capitol Drive.
I would just like to put out there that, well, for one, I think the fact businesses are coming to partner on this is fantastic. In the development discussions, whether that be with President Knudsen or Trustee Rhodey, if we can just not, it would be my preference if we didn't put a stake in the ground 100% that we can't ever close that street. I would love to have that not be like an 100% we can't do it thing. I know that's been comments made before. I'm familiar with why those comments have been made and all the different arguments to be said for that, but I would hate to proceed into something that could really be like a big whiteboard space and completely change our trajectory and never even consider the options that could be. So just like that to not be a absolutely not situation in all of these conversations for the external team to be able to consider and look into that.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Just to be clear, the village is going to spearhead this type of planning and project, correct? It's not going to be third parties, businesses, developers, whatever, and then kind of pushing us along. It's going to be done by us, correct?
I would say that it would probably be a joint venture.
And then when that happens,
But we would get the final say.
yeah, like
It's our property, it's our.
Okay, that's what I
vision,
wanted to make
yes,
clear.
yes.
Okay, because I love that the businesses are coming forward and wanting to do this and partner with us. I just want to make sure that it's our say, it's our village, it's the people's village.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
But I think we do need to be pushed every once in a while.
right.
You know, we end up, you know, putting out other fires, and we lose sight of what the more strategic and long-term plan is, so. But, yeah, we will always have the final say as a village board.
I'm still looking for a second.
No, you had
Oh,
a, mo-
you-
you
there
had a,
was a motion and a
there was a motion and
Oh,
a
there
second.
was, okay, I missed it. Is there any more discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Next one is item E, review, discussion, and possible action for monthly approval of checks and invoices for all funds for November 2025. I'll look for a motion to approve all funds except for the library.
Motion to approve, Rhodey.
Second, Stout.
You have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Then I will look for a motion to acknowledge the library funds for November 2025.
Motion to acknowledge the library funds of November 2025.
Second, Hager.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and possible action on Waukesha County Case 2024 CV 1584 WMC et al. Versus Village of Pewaukee ETAL.
This was on here in anticipation of a decision being issued by Waukesha County Circuit Court in the fire and EMS case that we discussed at the last board meeting. As of last check, the judge has not issued a decision, so there's really no update to be had. So it is slated for a closed session later on down the agenda, but yeah, I would, I guess, instruct the village president when reading the announcement for closed session, you can omit the language as to the case, the litigation. There's
Okay.
no need for a closed session. There's no update to be had.
Okay.
It was interesting, though. Nick and I attended.
Did you?
Yeah. There was a lot more discussion than I thought was going to be had regarding it. So,
Okay, then, next one is review, discussion, and possible action on the annual performance evaluation of the village administrator.
We will be, in closed session, we will be looking at the information that all of the trustees did share in regard to 2025 performance. At that point, the board overall will make a recommendation as far as what we will be rating him, and if the board feels that if they're ready to possibly make decisions on compensation.
Okay. Then we will move into, unless there's some questions or anything, we will move into H. The village board of the village of Pewaukee will enter a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 1885 1C to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically regarding the village administrator. After conclusion the session, the village board will reconvene pursuant to Wisconsin Section 1985-2 for the possible additional review, discussion, and action concerning this item and address it in the remaining meeting agenda. I will look for a motion to go into closed session, please.
So moved, Brody.
Second, Kaiser.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Stauff?
Yes.
Trustee Rhodey?
Yes.
Trustee Belt?
Yes.
Trustee Pater?
Yes.
Trustee Kreiser?
Yes.
Trustee Grabowski?
yes.
President Knutson?
Yes. Always a woman has to do it. Okay. Item G, review, discussion, and possible action on annual performance evaluation of village administrator. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve what we discussed in closed session.
Correct.
The compensation for the village administrator
Yeah,
discussed in closed session?
Okay. Via the compensation we discussed in closed session for the salary of the village administrator.
Second, Grabowski.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. There are no citizens here, so we'll move right into number 10, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, Baker.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are hereby adjourned. Merry Christmas and
Merry Christmas, everyone.
safe and happy New Year, everybody. Please take some candy. Kelly, did I sign yours? Paper nomination? Oh, okay.
She's just got
Who
to find
didn't,
it.
who didn't I sign? Oh, Jim, send me your paper